What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my Draftkings MMA picks for UFC Nashville. We have Taliesin Teixeira going against Derek Lewis. And yeah, this is a very interesting card in general, but from a DraftKings perspective as well. We'll definitely get into it, but we have probably some of the craziest salaries I think I've ever seen. But yeah, looking forward to breaking it down. Before we get into it all, if you guys could do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It is always much appreciated. Check out dfsbythenumbers.com if you want more content, betting, DraftKings, etc. Check it out on there. Got the fighters' stats, targets, projections, ownership projections, rankings, and DFS articles, lineup optimizer, much more. Check it out on the website. And also check out Prize Picks. Prize Picks right now, if you go to Prize Picks and use code DFSBTN, you'll get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Whether it wins or loses, $50 instantly into your Prize Picks account. All right, I say we get into it. We're going to start with the fight doesn't go to decision lines. We have Teixeira Lewis minus 900 for the fight doesn't go to decision. And yeah, I think somebody's getting served here. And like I mentioned earlier, it's a weird slate. Like on this card, we have a $9,900 fighter, a $9,900 or $9,800 fighter, and even $9,600, and then $9,500. And that kind of makes me very inclined to like the Teixeira side at $9,000. Like I think Teixeira has just as much upside as Mike Davis, and Mike Davis is $800 more. Like, what's the upside of Teixeira? It's a first round knockout. So I like Teixeira up top a lot this week at 9,000. But on the flip side, Derek Lewis is a guy you can never count out. He's one of those guys where it doesn't matter who he's fighting. He can fight the best guy in the division. Can't count him out. Like, he's always live. He has that puncher's chance, and it wouldn't shock me if he did knock out Teixeira. But yeah, I like Teixeira here, but this is a main event. I'm probably going to be pretty much all in on, because I see it being a Teixeira early knockout or really a Lewis early knockout. So yeah, but I do like Teixeira personally. Next, we got Petrino Lane, minus 800 for the fight doesn't go to decision. Yeah, so I won't be getting to much Lane, maybe like as like a dart throw, but yeah, I think they're really setting up Petrino here. I think they're really trying to get him a win. I think the UFC likes this guy. He's coming up a weight class, and he does look to be filling out at heavyweight. But yeah, it should be Vitor Petrino, should be Petrino probably by knockout, maybe even a submission. I just think he's the much better fighter. I'm not really sure what a Austin Lane win looks like, quite frankly. So yeah, Petrino, I think Petrino rolls here. Mostly going to be on the Petrino side this week, and he's 9,600, which is expensive, but there's two fighters more expensive than him, which is crazy this week. Next, we got Junior Tafa versus Tuco Tokos. So for me, the mid-range is really sticking out this week. There's a couple fights that I really like in this mid-range, and this is one of them. Junior Tafa going against Tuco Tokos. It's a fight that is very tough to call in a way, but it's a fight where I just don't trust either guy at all. I don't trust the ground game of Tafa, and I just don't trust Tokos in general. But what I do know is somebody probably does get served here and get served early on. So I do lean the Tafa side. I think he probably gets the early knockout, but Tuco Tokos is a dog that does have a path to victory. Although I don't think he's that great, he does have a path to victory nonetheless. And then Garcia Cater, minus 210 for the fight doesn't go to decision. This is the other fight in the mid-range that I absolutely love. It is a Steve Garcia fight. Garcia is a killer-be-killed fighter. He's looking to take his opponent's head off. I think somebody's getting served, somebody probably getting knocked out here. Minus 210 for the fight doesn't go, kind of backs that up. For me, I like Cater as a dog at 7,800, but it's hard to kind of get in the way of Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia is on a 5-fight, not only win streak, but 5-fight knockout streak. So I think it's wise to play both sides, but the dog of Cater definitely does intrigue me quite a bit this week. Getting into the core plays, Vitor Petrino, 9,600. I like Petrino this week. We're getting a $300 discount off of Fatima Klein, a $200 discount off of Mike Davis, and it's going to be tough to go up there and get Klein. I mean, 9,900 is ridiculous. I don't know. It's going to be tough to get her in your lineups, especially when I don't think there's a lot of dogs I like this week. Same thing with Mike Davis. It's going to be tough to get him in there. And even Petrino is going to be somewhat tough, but at least he's not the most expensive fighter on the slate. And I think he has just as much upside as a Klein, as a Davis. He should be going out there and knocking out Austin Lane, who's been knocked out 6 times. So I like Petrino quite a bit at 9,600. Jake Matthews, 8,000. Yeah, this is a tricky one because I think Jake Matthews absolutely has all the tools to win this fight. It just comes down to, will he use those tools? Will he mix in the takedowns? Will he mix in the grappling? If he does that, I think he has potential to make this look easy. If he goes out there and strikes with Chidi, it could definitely end poorly, but I'm hoping Matthews fights smart, gets the fight down to the ground, and if he does, I think he's going to have a lot of success. So we'll be playing some Jake Matthews, but I'm hoping he comes out there with a great game plan. Next, we got Junior Tafa, 8,600. Yeah, I think this is probably one of the most important fights in the card. I don't really see how this fight doesn't score well, whether it's a Junior Tafa knockout or it's Tuka Tokus getting the fight down to the ground and getting a TKO or a submission. But either way, I think the winner scores very well, and I think Tafa probably gets it done, and probably gets it done by first round knockout. And then Taliesin Teixeira at 9,000, same thing. I think if Teixeira's winning, it's by round one knockout. He's not really won any other way than a first round finish, has yet to see in the second round in his career, and I'm not sure if that changes here against Derek Lewis. I think these guys are going to get after it early, and I think somebody's going to get served, but I think it's more likely that Teixeira lands the big shot and gets Derek Lewis out of there early. Moving into the GPP plays here, Mike Davis, 9,800. He's probably the fighter I don't mind getting to if you can afford him. It is very expensive, but he just has an absolute layup here. An absolute layup. I think he can win this fight however he wants. Could be a knockout, but I think it's going to be with the grappling. I think Davis is going to take the grappling route, so I think we have takedown upside. I don't think I'll have any problem taking down Ramirez, and I think he probably subs him as well. So, yeah, Mike Davis, although extremely expensive, if you can go up and get him, I think he's a fine play this week. Gabriel Bonfim, 9,300. This 9K range is absolutely stacked, but yeah, with Bonfim, he's not anywhere near the most expensive fighter on the card, and he has a lot of upside in his own right. He has almost a 100% finish rate. I think it's like 94%. Has been to decision only one time in his career. And yeah, I think he has some grappling upside here. If he can take down Stephen Thompson and get on top, I think he has a very high likelihood of finishing the fight. So yeah, I like Bonfim quite a bit. 9,300, and I think he has some solid upside there. Next, we got Kennedy Nzechukwu. It's 8,800. The only thing I don't love about Kennedy is that he is a slow starter, so I don't envision him really getting a first-round knockout like he has in his last two fights. And this is a big step up in competition for Kennedy from his last two heavyweight fights against Lucas Bresky and Chris Barnett. But I do think he wins this fight. I do think it takes him a little bit, though. But yeah, I like the volume of Kennedy. I like the cardio of Kennedy, the pace of Kennedy. And outside of getting submitted in the first round, I think he can take over as the fight goes on and get a late finish. So I like Kennedy here, 8,800. But we'll talk about his opponent in a little bit, Walter Walker, who definitely does have a path to victory. Steve Garcia, 8,400. Don't mind some Garcia. I do think he's going to be fairly popular this week, and rightfully so. This guy's been on fire. This guy's been knocking out everybody, but I'm not fully convinced he knocks out Calvin Kattar, who's never even been knocked down in the UFC. But yeah, if Steve Garcia's winning, it's probably like a first-round knockout type thing, and he's going to score very well, and he's going to be on the optimal lineup, and for that reason, I will be playing some Steve Garcia. Live dogs, and brings me to Calvin Kattar. I like Calvin Kattar. I'm going to be very heavy on the Kattar and Garcia fight, but I'm going to have more Kattar this week. Kattar is on a 4-fight skid, but, he's taken a step down in competition here. This is really a fight I think he should win as long as he has some gas left in the tank. Steve Garcia is the much less durable fighter here, and I think this fight's going to come down to durability. And the reason I think that is because I think it's going to be an absolute firefight. I think it's going to be insane, crazy high pace, and I just trust the durability, even at 37 years old, a little bit more on Kattar in this fight. So I like Kattar as a dog, 7,800. There's not a lot of dogs that stick out, but he is one that definitely does stick out. And then we get a little greasy here. We got Tuka Toko, 7,600. I don't love it, but he has a path. He has a path with the wrestling. Junior Tafa's ground game is non-existent. He's getting taken down in pretty much every single UFC fight. And if Tokos does go that route, he does have some upside. But yeah, we'll see. I will be playing some Tokos because there really isn't many options this week that I think have any chance to win. And Tokos is a guy that at the very least I think he has a chance to win. And I think the path would be wrestling, and it would score well if he did pull off the upset, but I'm not entirely confident in Tuka Tokos this week. Next, we have Walter Walker, 7,400. Although I do like Kennedy to win the fight. If Walker is winning, he can win one of two ways, and they both score very well, right? If Walker wins, it's maybe a first-round submission, or it's Walker, consistently getting takedowns over the course of 15 minutes, and both of those paths are going to score well. So if Walker pulls off the upset, I'm pretty confident he will find his way into the optimal lineup. At 7,400, he's definitely worth some shots there. And then we got Nate Landwehr, 7,300. Hometown fight for Landwehr. And yeah, although I think it's a tough matchup for him, it's not, he can definitely win it. He has that dog in him. He is getting up there in age, 37 years old, but this is a guy that you can't count this guy out. He's going to be there the entire fight, and he has some power as well. And yeah, it's a tough matchup for him, though. I mean, Charrier, 32 fights, never been finished. I think, actually, maybe been finished once in his career. I think Charrier has some grappling upside here. But yeah, if Nate Landwehr can keep the fight standing, potentially could steal a decision in his hometown type thing. So yeah, Landwehr at 7,300. I don't mind it. Moving on to the pump plays, it's going to be Derek Lewis, 7,200. It's tough this week. I mean, the pump plays down low are absolutely brutal. And really the only one that makes sense to me is Derek Lewis. Like, you got Mitch Ramirez down there, Melissa Martinez, Austin Lane, Stephen Thompson, Lauren Murphy, Max Griffin, and then you have Derek Lewis. The only one that even remotely interests me is Derek Lewis, and he definitely has a path. He definitely has a chance. If Derek Lewis wins this fight, nobody should be shocked, because Derek Lewis has wins against guys like Curtis Blades, right? Alexander Volkov, some of the best guys in the division. So yeah, Derek Lewis is certainly a live dog, certainly a pump play, and although I'm going to have a ton of Teixeira, I'm going to have some Lewis as well. I'm going to be very heavily exposed to this main event. And then the fade is going to be Chris Curtis, 9,100. I like Curtis to win the fight, but I mean, the 9K range is so stacked. We got Taliesin Teixeira with round 1 upside, Bonfim with finish upside. We even have Eduardo Mara, who we didn't talk about, who has, ground game upside. Petrino with high finish upside. Davis, same thing, and Fatima Klein up there as well, with some potential finish upside and grappling upside. I think if Curtis wins this fight, it's either a decision or a late KO, and I'm just not convinced he outscores really any of these fighters in the 9K range. Maybe Mora, but yeah, I like a lot other fighters than Chris Curtis this week, but I still think he probably wins the fight. And there you guys have it. Thank you so much for watching. It is a very tricky card from a DraftKings perspective. Lineup construction is going to be tough. It's going to be very tough, but yeah, looking forward to some fights. It's a great card. It's a violent card. It's a fun card, and I'm looking forward to seeing it all go down. If you guys can do me a favor, like on your way out, subscribe to the channel, and be on the lookout for more content throughout the week, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See you.